Hi class, how was y'all's weekend? Good, good. Okay, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna read a really good book, but first we're gonna get something set up. So we're gonna make a trifold and it's gonna end up looking like this. This is called a KDL chart. So this is what it's gonna end up looking like, and we're gonna go ahead and do it together. So go ahead and get a piece of paper. We're gonna make these nice and pretty, so you're gonna need a colored pencil, any color or markers, whatever you'd like. So first you're gonna fold these 3 times. Fold once, twice, and then on the 3rd row you should have, ta-da, 3 lines. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go down these lines and trace them so that they're just a little bit darker so that we can organize all of our information. 1. And I want y'all to take your time with this, color it how you like. And now that you have these 3 lines, you're gonna fold it down the top just a little bit. I'll show you. Here you go, like this. And then you're going to darken this line. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Now you have some creative freedom with this. You can do whatever colors you like. I wanna see everyone's looking different. Okay, so for this one, this first column, we're gonna say what I know, okay? So write what I know. Here you go. All right, and then I want you to draw like a cute little picture right here to remind you this is what I know, okay? So for example, I did a little brain. Get creative and do whatever. You can do a brain too, or you can do whatever you want. So next over, we're gonna put what I want to know. So what are you gonna want to know before reading this book? What I want to know. Okay, here we go. We got this one. Okay, again, you guessed it. Draw another little picture. Use some pretty colors. I want to see your favorite colors all over this paper. Okay, your last one is going to say what I learned. And of course, another little picture. And then take about 5 minutes, color all this in. Again, I want everyone's to be looking different. I want some excitement going on. And then go ahead and make some bullets down here to make it easier when you are reading your book, okay? So I'm gonna do about 4 little bullets. It's okay if you don't use all of those, but it just gives you some space and room to write. Like so, okay? So when you're done, it should look something like this. I expect yours to be better than this though, okay? Just like this. All right, so let me show you what book we are going to be reading. We are going to be reading Dr. De Soto by William Steig. So first, take it in, take in the colors. You can see a little metal right here. We'll go over that in 1 second. You're gonna look at the art on the front. You can read the back if you'd like. Pretty colors. Okay, so this particular book has an award. Can anybody read that? Yes, it says Newbery Honor Book. That means that this book has contributed to the American literature, okay? So it's done a lot for us. So we're gonna read it and we're gonna get the honor to read this book and see someone's art in here, okay? So first, you're gonna put what I know. So it's okay if you don't know a lot about this book just yet because we're gonna read it. However, look, okay, well, what is the title? Right, doctor. Okay, so what do you already know about doctors? Well, 1, you know it's gonna be about a doctor, right? It's Dr. De Soto. So you can add that to what I know. What else? Yep, it looks like he's in his little office, right? Okay, you can add that to what you know. What kind of doctor does he look like? Do you think we could tell or not yet? No, okay. That's right, he is a little mouse. Okay, add that. Okay, if you want to add that you know the title and the author, you could totally do that too. You can add that the binding of the book is purple. You got some orangish yellow in here. So just take your time, add what I know, There's no right or wrong answers here, but I do want something, okay? Because just by looking at this, you should know a few things already. Okay, now you're going to answer what you want to know. So right here in the middle, you're going to put, what do you want to know? Well, I mean, I want to know, what kind of doctor is he? Because I can't figure that out. So that's something I would want to know. What else? Go ahead and turn to your partner and tell them something that you want to know about this. Give each other some ideas. Okay, so then for what I learned, this is going to be after book questions, okay? So you're just going to leave this blank. If something pops into your mind and you don't want to lose it while I'm reading, you are welcome to go ahead and throw something right here. But I would rather you wait till we're done so that you can really take in, because if you're writing something, you might be missing something else I'm saying. Okay, let's get into this book. Again, so you're going to take in, what am I learning? What can I put in my chart at the end of this? Okay, we're going to be taking in pictures. There's a lot of detail in this book, so make sure you're paying attention for that. You know, characters, setting. So take it all in, and we'll discuss as a class after, okay? Dr. De Soto by William Steig. This is the first picture. So I think we can already tell just by opening the front cover what kind of doctor he is. Dr. De Soto, the dentist, did very good work. So he had no end of patients. Those close to his own size, moles, chipmunks, etc., sat in the regular dentist's chair. Larger animals sat on the floor, while Dr. De Soto stood on a ladder. For extra large animals, he had a special room. There, Dr. De Soto was hoisted up to the patient's mouths by his assistant, who also happened to be his wife. These pictures are kind of funny, huh? Dr. De Soto was especially popular with the big animals. He was able to work inside their mouths wearing rubbers to keep his feet dry, and his fingers were so delicate and his drills so dainty they could hardly feel any pain. Who here's been to the dentist? Good. Being a mouse, he refused to treat animals dangerous to mice, and it said so on his sign. When the doorbell rang, he and his wife would look out the window. They wouldn't admit even the most timid-looking cat. One day, when they looked out, they saw a well-dressed fox with a flannel badge around his jaw. "I could not treat you, sir," Dr. De Soto shouted. "Sir, haven't you read my sign?" "Please," the fox wailed, "have mercy, I'm suffering." And he wept so bitterly it was pitiful to see. "Just a moment," said Dr. De Soto. "That poor fox," he whispered to his wife. "What shall we do?" "Let's risk it," said Miss De Soto. She pressed the buzzer and let the fox in. You think they should have done that? He was up in the stairs in a flash. "Bless your little hearts," he cried, falling to his knees. "I beg you, do something. My tooth is killing me." "Sit on the floor, sir," said Dr. De Soto, "and remove the bandage, please." Dr. De Soto, climbing up the ladder, and bravely entered the fox's mouth. "Oh, ow!" he gasped. The fox had a rotten bicuspid and unusually bad breath. "This tooth will have to come out," Dr. De Soto announced, "but we can make you have a new one." "Just stop the pain," whimpered the fox, wiping some tears away. Despite his misery, he realized he had a tasty little morsel in his mouth, and his jaw began to quiver. "Keep open," yelled Dr. De Soto. "Wide open," yelled his wife. "Oh, no." "I'm giving you gas now," said Dr. De Soto. "You won't feel a thing when I yank that tooth." Soon the fox was in dreamland. Yummy," he mumbled. "How I love them, raw with just a pinch of salt and a dry white wine." They could guess what he was dreaming about. Miss De Soto handed her husband a pole to keep the fox's mouth open. Dr. De Soto fastened his extractor to the bad tooth. Then he and his wife began turning the winch. Finally, with a sucking sound, the tooth popped out and hung swaying in the air. "I'm bleeding," the fox yelped when he came to. Dr. De Soto ran up the ladder and stuffed some gauze in the hole. "The worst is over," he said. "I'll have your new tooth ready tomorrow. Be here at 11 sharp." The fox, still woozy, said goodbye and left. On his way home, he wondered if it would be shabby of him to eat the De Sotos when the job was done. Oh no. After office hours, Miss De Soto molded a tooth of pure gold and polished it. "Raw with salt indeed," muttered Dr. De Soto. "How foolish to trust a fox." "He didn't know what he was saying," said Miss De Soto. "Why should he harm us? We're helping him." "Because he's a fox," said Dr. De Soto. "They're wicked, wicked creatures." That night, the De Sotos lay awake worrying. "Should we let him in tomorrow?" Miss De Soto wondered. "Once I start a job," said the dentist family, "I finish it. My father was the same way." "But we must do something to protect ourselves," said his wife. They talked and talked until they formed a plan. "I think it will work," said Dr. De Soto. A minute later, he was snoring. The next morning, promptly at 11, a very cheerful fox turned up. He was feeling not a particle of pain. When Dr. De Soto got into his mouth, he snapped it shut for a moment, then opened wide and laughed. "Just a joke," he chortled. "Be serious," said the dentist sharply. "We have work to do." His wife was lugging the heavy tooth up the ladder. "Oh, I love it," exclaimed the fox. "It's just beautiful." Dr. De Soto set the gold tooth in its socket and hooked it up on the teeth on both sides. The fox caressed the new tooth with his tongue. "My, it feels good," he thought. "I really shouldn't eat them. On the other hand, how can I resist?" "We're not finished," said Dr. De Soto, holding up a large jug. "I have here a remarkable preparation developed only recently by my wife and me. With just one application, you can be rid of toothaches forever. How would you like to be the first one to receive this unique treatment?" Sounds nice, huh? "I certainly would," the fox declared. "I'd be honored." He hated any kind of personal pain. "You will never have to see us again," said Dr. De Soto. "No one will see you again," said the fox to himself. He had definitely made up his mind to eat them, with the help of his brand new tooth. Dr. De Soto stepped into the fox's mouth with a bucket of secret formula and proceeded to paint each tooth. He hummed as he worked. Miss De Soto stood by on the ladder, pointing out spots he had missed. The fox looked very happy. See his gold tooth right there. When the dentist was done, he stepped out. "Now close your jaws tight," he said, "and keep them closed for a full minute." The fox did as he was told. Then he tried to open his mouth, but his teeth were stuck together. Excuse me, I should have mentioned," said Dr. De Soto. "You won't be able to open your mouth for a day or two. The secret formula must first permeate the dentine. But don't worry, no pain ever again." The fox was stunned. He stared at Dr. De Soto, then at his wife. They smiled and waited. All he could do was say, "Thank you very much," through his clenched teeth, and get up and leave. He tried to do so with dignity. Then he stumbled down the stairs in a daze. Dr. De Soto and his assistant had outfoxed the fox. They kissed each other and took the rest of the day off. The end. Okay, how'd we feel about that book? It was kind of funny, huh? A silly one. Okay, so now we're going to get out our beautiful charts. If you already put some by next to what I learned while I was reading, great job. Now, we're going to go ahead and fill in this section, okay? So now you can't touch these two. These are locked in. But I want you to put what you learned. What are some things that we could put there? Yes, we did learn that he was a dentist, huh? Right, go ahead and write that. What else did we learn? That's right, we did learn that the patient was a fox and that he didn't accept any predators, huh? That's true. Okay, so go ahead, take 5 minutes, add to what I learned. Now that book gave us a lot of information, so you might need to add more bullet points. I expect to see more on what I learned than these two, okay? And then we're going to share if you want to. Does anybody have any questions about this activity? We're gonna keep this, okay? And we can fold it up nice. And then you can put your name here. And then we can share these, okay? We can share these with one another. Because what if Sammy learned something during the book and maybe Jax wasn't paying attention during that moment and didn't learn that? So that's really cool, and we can add that to each other's what I learned column, okay? So that's the end of that. I hope we all learned something. I hope we enjoyed that book, and I hope we all know what a Newbery Award is. I actually really enjoyed this book, so